Welcome everyone, welcome to my channel. This is Terry and this is going to be my March update for 2021, and welcome again. Today is March the 6th. It is a sunny day. It is right now it is about 40 degrees, and I believe it's probably going to be in the high 40s today. I am starting down here in the east end of my greenhouse. This right here in front of me is my Epidendrum parkinsonianum. It's got growths that are still maturing, but I just got this before winter, and I'm just really hoping that there's going to be some blooms coming in the summer. That's a species. It is now Colostylus. This is another deciduous dendrobium that is putting up a lot of kikis and did bloom for me. That is Dendrobium mentor. Up here is my pendulum that I showed last month, and I pointed out the nubbins. And I'm showing this from far away, but I am seeing, maybe I'm not even showing it, but it looks like there, here, and up there. My Pirardi, which is up there, looks horrible, but it usually does. All of my deciduous plants, to be honest, they usually bloom or start showing signs of bloom a little bit later than most others do. So while I am looking, I'm not really expecting much. I am expecting something from some of these other Encyclia crosses and Brassavola crosses in here. For instance, this is Little Stars times a Lotta. Looks kind of dry, but anyway, and this is, I believe this is, I think it's a baby phoenix, and this here is VLC Shin that, and they all put up growths, and they're all continuing to put up growths, but again, they're getting a little less water, a little bit gentle with the water, just so that those growths don't blast. And down here at the end here, this is my Kai times, looks like Apache sunrise. And this is my Dockrilla, which is a cross, and as I was looking at it, I noticed that it's a little bit desiccated, dehydrated, but I also noticed a little bit of scale. You can see that right in there, and there's some there. So I'm going to carry this with me as I back out of this jungle area. There's my Falconieri right here. Up above here, my Glauca, still no sign of any buds or anything. This is my Ligophyllum, Dendrobium Ligophyllum. Here is a very dry plant, but it gets a little lessening of water. This is Cattleya Mahler times Phoenicia. So we will be hoping to see something on that. My lemon dance here, looks like the buds will be cracking any day. That should be fragrant. That is Trigonopus crossed with Williamsonii. Yeah, and then behind there, this right here, I just noticed, this is nursery rhyme, Encyclia nursery rhyme, which is a cross. There is a spike right there. There's my in great gums. This is my Magdaleni, and this is the Alabaster, recently repotted. And then this up here is my Sesquisquadale that is looking like it wants to die. As I move on down, some of these have sheaths on them. Like this is my Clandii. It's a baby, but it's still possible that it can bloom. And there's more Clandiis in here. There's an Clandii. This is my koala treat, LC koala treat, that's been in bloom for quite some time. As I move back over this area, some cattleyas down here. My Bactea grape wax is what I'm showing right now. My Miss Mahler, Francis Tompkins, Fred Tompkins right there looks like it's half dead. There's more roots coming down there underneath that dead leaf that fell from something. You can see those green roots going in there. What else? There's a new fat growth on that cattleya across over there, and this encyclia doesn't have much going on, but that encyclia has a spike which I've been showing recently. And here's my diurna, my encyclia diurna that I showed. That is Ruthly Profuse, which is a cross. Up here is another Colostylus that I think it might actually be putting out roots. Hopefully growths will follow. I think this might actually be a Miss Mahler. Or no, this is Summer Spectacular, and I see some scale right there, so I will take that with me. And some of these plants, this is my Dendrobium, what is this? Delcurii, that's what it is. This is a Laturia that gets a rest. And if I can see right correctly, that looks like at the base, looks like there is a eye down there that is doing something. These like it almost completely bone dry in the winter, but of course they like the humidity to stay the same, and they like light, and I just knocked the hanger off, so I'm just going to sit that over there. Take a look at some of these other things. That's my Canaliculatum up here. I see it still has one set of leaves. The other one looks kind of funky. I'm not going to take it down. But I should probably start watering that a little bit more. This is another encyclia up here that is putting up a growth over there on that side. It did bloom right there this summer. And this is Encyclia Stretch, which is Phoenicia times Megalantha. Nice to see that growth. This is my Brassavola Adorable. That's a Bill Tom's, and I see that root there. This hasn't been on that mount so long, but still looking down this area. Well, let me go back over here and look at my Chysis aurea, which is right there. This right here is my San Damiano Cross times Chocolate Drop. It still has a sheath or two on here that could bloom. New growth still progressing on this encyclia that I thought I had killed. You can see the growths had started to die off. I'm waiting to see if there's going to be anything happening on my two. Well, it looks like they're losing some leaves. This right here. These are my Luke Tone, LC Luke Tone, I believe that's what it is, or yeah, Luke Tones. I want to repot those as soon as I see some growths. Encyclia putting up a nice growth there. This is my Encyclia, what is it? Encyclia, now I can't think now. It's a species, and why don't I have the tag? But it is the one that, I'll put the name of it, I just can't remember it at the moment. My yellow bird is still putting up new flowers, smelling so nice. There's another spike that's back there going towards the window. As I move back up this way, some of these sheaths on my Prosthecia livida, that's a spike right there. And then there's a couple of other sheaths that have movement in them. There's one. But anyway, next to that is a Boringiana cross with cordata. It's got that nice growth. And tucked in here are my Dendrobium. That's right, one is here, and there's another one that's behind, over there, that's behind my Prince Edward of York here, which is Paphiopedilum sanderianum crossed with Rothschildianum. There's a picture of it, a shot of it, although the light is not the greatest from that angle. That's a much better shot of it. Very beautiful thing. It's got the Rothschildianum, the way that the petals are spread wide, and you can see the sanderianum, which is the long and curly nature. That is Prince Edward of York, Paphiopedilum Prince Edward of York. And over here is Paphiopedilum Mount Toro, which is Paphiopedilum stonii crossed with Rothschildianum, or is it Philippinensis? I forget at the moment. But anyway, that is Mount Toro. It is Philippinensis. But that is stony eye, but it also is reminiscent of, like what I was saying about Rothschildianum, that angle. And down below here, this is my stony eye. It's got a growth there and a new leaf peeking out there. Very slow growing plant, and there's another fan here. This is my Den Alexandri that just matured this growth over the winter. Anyway, just looking in some of these plants. There's that bud back there that I've been showing in my videos, and there is the name Florence Lynn times Kiwichi. And while I'm talking about Kiwichi is right here, which is Orontiaca crossed with Epidendrum or Encyclia aromatica. That's the cross, Kiwichi. Oh, there is a fragrance, and it's very, very cloying. I don't know how to describe that, but it's very pleasant. Very, very pleasant, as opposed to this fragrance, which is Phalaenopsis, which is a primary cross between Amboinensis and Venosa. Two very fragrant Phalaenopsis. This is more of a chemical scent, although it's a sweet chemical scent, still a chemical-y scent nonetheless. But anyway, going back this way, I'm gonna still try to rescue this plant I don't think it's all the way, it might be, but I still think that there is still some life in that plant. As well as this is my Ben Berlina, my Maxillaria, keeping it a little bit drier and hoping that some of these matured pseudobulbs give me some buds. What else? This is still kicking along. This is my Pinocchio, Path Pinocchio crossed with Chihuahua Dancer. And it's got another flower that is developing. It is a sequential bloomer, but that may be the last one unless there's another one tucked under there. There is buds showing there. That's my Epidendrum Green Hornet, blooming right on cue. Long season of bloom. I'm looking at this because this, I believe, is my Lady Roth. Yeah, and I just saw this dead part and I got a little concerned, but it does look like the newest growths are still there. And here's those buds that are yellowing or redding up, getting some color. That is my Lelia Rubescens that's crossed with Cordata. I thought that was Anceps. Interesting. Okay. What else? This is another one of my Magdalenis that's been here, and it gets watered sparingly in the winter time, but it has got a lot of little babies coming up around it, which is nice. Still just a little baby, as opposed to the other one that I showed you before in the video that's more mature. It's blooming size. This is my Modesta, Arangus Modesta that has been mounted on that all winter. Up above here, this is my BC Florida Stars that has a few sheaths on it. If you see Todd's video, you see he's got one that's in bloom right now. For some reason I can't find the sheath right now, but hopefully I'll be getting some blooms. Hopefully. There's a sheath right there. There was something else over here. This is my Sertorchis cross that bloomed for me last spring. Still, it's got that little pup over there on that side that it put up last summer, and a little bit of bitty one there. Hopefully I'll see some blooms. Let's see. Surprise, surprise, my Arangus distichum is still, has got a lot live parts on it. It completely gets ignored, but it gets some of the mist. It's in gets just missed because it's in the vicinity of the spray. Let me see anything over this area. Not really. Up here, that's my, we know who that is. That's my, Okito Sato. And it did not bloom from this, but it's got that growth coming. This is an encyclia cross here that's been hanging out all winter. That's Prosiclia tamlia, which is Cochleata times tampensis. Hopefully I'll see blooms on that nicely someday to share with you all. Up above here is a relatively new acquisition. That's my Florida Stars times Sugita spots. It is a named clone now, and it's got some buds up there. You can see the spots on the outside. There's spent flowers up there as well. Let's see here. My Sophina Kofia Robusta is still here on the mount, due for watering, as well as my Area Javanica. Sorry, excuse me, that's right here. on this mount, maturing off the mini growths that it put up this year. There's another one in there. I was really hoping that I'm going to get some flower blooms. This is a new mature growth, and there's more on the other side. But I think I would have already been seeing flower spikes if I were getting them. Too bad for me. Let's see what else. Nothing new on my nocturnum. All that tease with the wow, it looks like some of these have died off. But anyway, I still have canes here that are active, and then there are new canes that are still coming on. What else? This is that newly potted up plant that I just did a video on just the other day. That's a chocolate drop cross, and there's that sheath that I was showing you. There's another sheath. You can see there's some shading in there, so fingers crossed on that. This is my Chisis, another one of my Chisis. This is a cross, I believe. It's Marisa something. Bialecki, that's what it is. And I just don't see anything happening yet, but that's okay. What else over this way? Still hope for this spike, although it's a lot of browning on it. I do still see some, well, yeah, we'll just see. This is my epidendrum cross. That's Rene Marquez times pseudoepidendrum. And all of these epidendrums that are newly to my collection as of before the winter, I can see there's a, maybe that's not a new growth, but they're still doing well. They still have all of their leaves. This one over here, still doing pretty good. So I'm very happy about that. These blooms on Roy Tokunaga, Dendrobium Roy Tokunaga, still looking really nice. Slight fragrant as well. Let me see what's going on up here, if anything. And nothing else back here except for my Joyce Kelly, which is another Lacturia cross. It's got that inflorescence that is peeking out right there. And I'm pretty sure that I saw another one somewhere on the plant, but I'm not going to spend too much time looking for it at this moment because I've got a lot more to show you. There's another nice growth coming up on that plant. This is still giving me beautiful blooms and amazing fragrance. This is my BLC Momilani Rainbow. Momilani Rainbow. These are the latest second flush of, maybe it's the third flush of flowers, perhaps the last as well. Long lasting, really nice. Back there, that's the Boothly Venice, which is, this is a different form of it. This is the one that Peter Lynn of Diamond Orchids did. It's probably at Sunset Valley Orchids now, but that's Jalapa times Mike IV. And speaking of Jalapa, I just got a Jalapa, another Jalapa cross, and I know it's around here somewhere. You know, it might be out. I might not have put it out here yet. But anyway, it's a Maikai times Nodosa. Very big plant. Yeah, I don't think it's out here. It might still be inside. But all of these, except for this, is my Colostylus ciliare. I was really hoping to be seeing some activity on this plant, some new growths, but none yet. There's new growths down here on my Catlatonia subida spots times Orontiaca that just finished blooming. And this plant right here, this Dendrobium Fauciferum, still looks really nice. Nice and green. The ends are still growing. This is my Tetraspis. Hopefully I will be seeing some blooms. And again, there are new growths there, and then there's a new growth peeking out around the corner over there. That's Sally Brown, and this one is Hawaiian Spectacular. Okay, let's keep moving on down. This is my Cattleya chocolate drop right here. I'll point that out. It's been on this mount for, shoot, where's the date at? But it's been about a year maybe. And over the winter, it did put out a root. And I noticed today, just as I pick it up, that there looks like there's a growth or something coming out of it down there. You can see that green peeking out there. So that's really, really nice. This is still just a little seedling. Some of these other things over here, just some nodosa crosses that I got from Florida Suncoast. This is my Gigantea right here before I walk right past it, as if it's not right here in my face. The flowers still have not yet fully opened yet, but you can kind of see more of the patterning on the inside of the flower. Of course, I've already done a lot of videos on this species over the course of my internet, YouTube, and it is very fragrant. Sometimes they do not open all the way, but it is still, I would say, the king of all of the Phalaenopsis. It's the one bucket list because of its absurdity, the leaves being so huge. Some of these other plants are doing well. My Caudata here, still doing okay. Two little jewel orchids. My Uniflorum here. It's got some new growths, new leaves coming out of the top. That's my Angraecum calceolaris right there. That's still doing okay. Let me see if there's anything up there. Can't really remember. Some of these things are just, and sorry about the light, it's not so good. Okay, these are just Brassavolas. This is my Flagellaris, and just some other crosses. I'll keep going down this way. Here are my Maxillaria tenifolias. This is the straight tenifolia. The newest growths have long since matured, and I am hoping to see some sprouting of buds on all of these. This is my Yamada Maxillaria tenifolia clone, and down here is my the melon one that I just got. Watermelon marginata, and it is also maturing some growths. But down here on this shelf is some Gongoras. That's my Gongora histrionica that I just got. That is my, I believe that's Chacoensis, maybe. Yes, Chacoensis. And this is Gongora grossa here that I'm really nursing, hoping. This up here is really not looking so well. I'm probably gonna have to repot that soon. This is my Rubescens that bloomed for me last fall, in fact. Yeah, there's my Uricrone Boschulianum, very, very dry. I have not really been watering much, just very sparingly. And that is my Aranthes arachnidus. But just some Boba phylums that look very dry. New growths on some. That's a Canaliculatum, I believe, right there. There's some frosty eyes in the window back there. Moving up here, some look not so good. What is this? See, this is a jalapa times Richard Mueller that looks like it's dead. But here is my Eranthes Pyrati, and you can see here, you can see that right there. That is a new flower spike right there, coming up from the middle of the plant. No, it's not. See how I was so fooled? But it does look like it is. That did look like a flower spike, didn't it? I got so happy. I thought I had found something. But these flower spikes look like they're still green. They can still bloom as long as they're green. So I'm not gonna sweat too much. But it does look, everything does look a little bit too dry. I really need to get on top of that. Back here is some things, Brassavola crosses. There's this is a Galliandra here, a little baby. These are Maxillaria Variabilis, right in front of your face, too close. This right here, hoping to get blooms on that as well. All of those tend to bloom at the same time. Behind here is my Cimbadella. I think that's Fauciferum. This is another Maxillaria here. That, look at those growths. That does not look good. This is a Ben Berlina, actually. Yeah. And anyway, I don't really see much new happening here, just things either growing like that. That's my Lelia Rubescens crossed with, I think it's Cernua. Yeah, Lelia Rubescens Cernua, growing decently. This is another one of my nocturnums here. Some of the growths did die off, that you can see, but it did put up this one, and there's this one over here. So that's a 4N, and back there, that's in Erangus. No, that's in Angraecum. Linford White times Suspus Squidale. This is my Forbesii, Cattleya Forbesii. Hoping to get flowers from those sheep, not Forbesii, this is Labiata, Luteola, right there. And this is my Richard Mueller right here, which had a sheath, but the sheath dried up. And all these leaves that are falling from my Miltonia Phalaenopsis, although that growth is still progressing. My Leptotes, it's labeled as tenuous, but I have doubts. Still okay. That's pretty much it for that. Here is my Boba Phylum Lindana. Still got a few lingering blooms. Still very hairy. Nice and striped. And there's going to be more coming from that spike right there. Yay. Let me get this leaf out of it. Oh no, maybe I won't. I don't believe in pulling off the leaves. I wait until they get, well, until they fall off naturally. That's what I do. Just FYI. Right behind me here is the last, well, there's, yeah, that's not a bloom, but last bloom on my crestwood. And as I move down this very nasty looking Phalaenopsis table, I really need to get out here. This is my Harveyanum. It's got that little growth coming. Then for Harveyanum, then that's not looking so well. This is, although I don't think that's right. That might just be the coloration. I need to stand that up. This is my Path Henryanum. This is probably going to be a dead goner. That's my Dimorphorchis Lowii. Here is my Phalaenopsis species. This is Amabilis. And I'm going to get more buds back here on that Phalaenopsis back there. This is my Bastianii that I just repotted into that basket with sphagnum, and I think it's going to be okay. Some of the spikes died off. There are some still on the plant. All I'm really concerned about is that the plant is still alive and that soon it will produce more roots, and hopefully I'll get some spikes pretty soon. If not this year, maybe next season, because they always have a little period before for recovering from being repotted. This is a repotted fowl that's doing really well. That's a Taishan flying eagle crossed with something else, and it's still developing that leaf right there. Wow, here's a bud right here on Carolwood times Suncoast Paradise. That's a bud. These are some of my Boba phylums that I repotted earlier this year, that I got a year ago at Hauserman's. Up here, this is my Brassavola Jiminy Cricket, and it does have some sheaths on the plant, but no blooms, none. Man, that plant just does not want to, it just wants to flop. Okay, but moving on down with my Phalaenopsis, they look highly dehydrated. That's one of my Schillerianas. That's the one that I just mounted. Still okay. It did lose a leaf though. Up here is, I'll probably get some blooms on that. That's a Super Zebra Pyro. That looks like it's probably going to bloom. This over here is my Valentii, and this is my Mock Chow Yu that I really need to give it more water. I mean, the leaves are just very floppy. And this is this? I usually know. Phalaenopsis, oh, it's a Venosa. So that'll always be in spike. Still got some buds, some flowers on my Memoria Wandanishi. That's a Laturia. And my newly repotted, that's my St. Swithin. Back here is my Maui Chocolate. That's a Maxillaria that almost killed, so I resurrected that one. And some of these are recently repotted. And just some Phalaenopsis here. I know this is probably Joy Spring Canary. Yeah, Joy Spring Canary. This is my Melina that was purchased as Happy Eagle. But anyway, yeah. There's a spike on this plant under there, doing okay. New root peeking out under there. Still got some roots here on these. This is my Eranthes Pioneer, Erangus Pioneer, and this is a Kachikiana. But yeah, they're slowly coming alive. Some of these Brassavolas. What's this one? Yeah, see, that's a Jalapa times Nodosa. but I know I have another one somewhere else. This is my Brassavola grandiflora, or is it? I think it is grandiflora. This is my other fasciata that I remounted on this. Needs more water on it, but that spike is still green, and this leaf is browning. I need to turn the heater off exactly right now because that's probably why it's getting, maybe it's too much sun as well, but it overall needs more water in order for this to make it on this. This is basically mounted, and I don't want to lose that, although I have another fasciata that's over there, right there. Okay. And this is my other Gigantea that I've already talked about in a previous video. Nothing really happening up here. Nothing up here. This is my Tower Tay Phalaenopsis Gigantia cross. Yeah, see, I think that's all from the heater. I need to turn that off before I lose more buds. That's Phalaenopsis there. And as I look down this way, there's more buds down here. That's a Phalaenopsis. And I need to really water, especially this area where my angraecums are. This is my Joyce Stewart that's got those spikes in there. You can see those flower spikes in there. There's 3 so far. Well, maybe that's going to be a flower spike as well. And I have that one down there. Or actually, that could be a new plant because it does not look like. But in either event, that is nice to see all of that happening, even though there is a little bit of some mealybug in there. This is my Scotianum. It's right next door to it. Actually, Joyce Stewart is Scotianum crossed with Compactum, I believe. Back here is that Maxillaria that I got. Wasn't from Yoshi, but Yoshi has the same one. It's that dark Maxillaria. Still okay. This cross is doing okay, but see, there's a browning leaf, and I don't like that. So I believe that's the heater. This is my Dendrobium that I got on this mount, and I need to really make sure that I keep it hydrated, as well as a lot of these things over here. This is my compactum right here, my angraecum compactum. Yeah, so I need to do a little bit better job. And this is my Junkifolia Schoenorchis. That again is dry. You can see the roots are dried. These roots should be white and, you know, more less desiccated. Those are totally dead, and that plant needs watered every day, and as it gets warmer it will need more water, so I really need to spend more time giving it what it wants instead of being a slob and being lazy. But anyway, I can only do what I can do, and I'm back now, so I can only work on improving things. Some of these up here I will show you that I'm just going to toss. This, of course, is Hercoglossum. This is Why Not Yellow cross. That's, yep. And then this right here, I believe that is my something, the species. But anyway, moving on down, really not much going on. Things are still alive. Over here, this is my Angraecum biramense. Again, dry. Yeah, I need to really get my shit together. That Phalaenopsis is doing pretty good. It's got buds coming back on it. This is actually surprisingly doing okay. This is my Maxillaria candida. That was a gift from Tony Wells. And I mounted it on this sort of half moon ceramic last fall when he gave it to me, and you can see the roots going down into the media. You can see how I had just set the pot in there without disturbing it, and I think so far it's okay. We will see in the wintertime. I don't know. I mean, not the wintertime, but the summer. I'm not sure. I'll have to do my research again. I think it might be a little bit more tolerant, but if it's on Miltonia, probably not. But I'm still happy to see this new growth in those roots. Gives me hope. Right next to this is looking sad, but I think it's still okay. This is a Phalaenopsis. It is a cross between a Pathenia, which gets a little bit of a rest, and Stanhopeia genishana. So I think it'll be okay. Hopefully I'll see a growth on that. Just some of my Brassavolas up here, mostly species and hybrids that really didn't do crap all winter, so I'm not really happy, but what can you do? This Phalaenopsis here, again, put up a secondary spike, and then there's one here, and then there's another one here, and another one there. Wow, I didn't even notice that. Okay. This is an Epidendrum cross. It doesn't seem to be doing much, but it was repotted at the end of the season. This is my Nemorea Wallisi, looking very haggard, although it's still good, as opposed to this Wallisii, that all of these growths are not good anymore. I'm not really sure what the status of some of these plants are. This is my Arpaphyllum Gigantia, and it is putting up some new growths here at the base. I'm just waiting for it to get big enough. It has previously bloomed, but I'm still waiting to see some blooms. This is a good thing. This is my Discolor, which is a Laturia. No, it's not. It's a Spatulata. And it's got 2 new growths coming on it. Yay! Maybe someday I'll get a little spike. But I am happy to see the growths. This is my Epiolens that's got buds forming on those previously bloomed spikes. And on this one, again, as I said about these epidendrums that are reed stems that do rebloom from their inflorescence that remain green. What else can I show you? This looks like, well, Bud Blast. That is Perenni times Chocolate Drop. Again, I'm sure it was because of the heater being on, so I just turned that off. This is my Gatton Sunray, Dendrobium Gatton Sunray, and I'm just looking. These are the previous season's canes, and I see the scale there, but that's the least of my. I'm just looking to see if there's any sign of, because these are last season's canes that are still putting out leaves. And of course, as I've said before, this should not be alive. That's Silogeny cristata, and you can see that it is putting up another growth from that little tiny bulb. Isn't that funny? My Angraecum florenculum, hoping to get all of these nice dose of fertilizer, which I haven't done in a while, and it's time. This is my Den Nindi. That's the growth that it put up last season, and it has matured. That's pretty much it, folks, for my update. Yeah, that is pretty much it. That flower's gone on my Schwetzii, and I am hoping that this epidendrum here will eventually give me some blooms. Bloomed for me last year, and it did very well this year as far as putting up new growths. So I am hoping soon. believe that's it. Here's one more little big lip Phalaenopsis here. It's hanging out up here. And up here is my, that's my Guarianthe, Cattleya guatemalensis, that's what it is. But anyway, folks, that is my update for March 2020. Thank you all for watching. Sorry it was so long. Enjoy your orchids.